It's time now for the week that was. Let's take a look at the top stories that made headlines across the globe this week. And we'll start here in Nigeria. Well, starting on the matter, of course, of the frequent collapse of the national grid this year, which has gotten many Nigerians worried. In the last 72 hours alone, the electricity grid has collapsed 3 times, leaving several Nigerians with no power supply. Now, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, is asking agencies under his ministry to urgently implement the recommendations of the interagency committee set up to address the incessant grid collapses in the power sector. Meanwhile, the Transmission Company of Nigeria says that the instability in the national grid will likely persist as the system undergoes repairs. Arise correspondent Charles Eruka reports.
In 2024 alone, Nigeria has experienced at least 11 collapses of the national grid, with the latest power cut occurring on Thursday, November the 7th, after an earlier shutdown on Tuesday, November the 5th. A timeline of grid collapses this year shows that the first occurred on Sunday, February the 4th, 2024, leading to prolonged outages across many regions of the country. Less than 2 months later, the grid suffered another collapse on Thursday, March the 28th. It was followed by another incident on April the 15th, less than a month later. It affected key cities and industrial zones, with the national grid provider attributing the cause to frequency imbalances within the system. On Saturday, July the 16th, the national grid collapsed again. The mid-year crisis caused heightened public frustration as critical sectors, including healthcare and manufacturing, were disrupted. The instability continued on Monday, August the 5th, with yet another collapse. Widespread blackouts were reported across the country, raising serious questions about investment, maintenance, and capacity of the nation's energy infrastructure. Last month witnessed the highest number of collapses on October the 14th, 15th, and 19th. 2 collapses have so far been witnessed in November, and in between the 2 dates, the Intersectoral Investigative Committee on System Collapse submitted its report to the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. The committee explained the problems and the measures being taken.
We had 2 short reactors in Jebba before this event. However, one packed up is faulty, so the voltage rose to about 400 kilovolts. That's beyond the threshold. And high voltage degrades equipment insulation. If you expose equipment to high voltages for a long time, it degrades the insulation, and of course, there's risk of failure.
Theft of power equipment, violation of power installations, and all that. In spite of this, they have responded swiftly to ensure that none of the grid collapse actually lasted more than 24 hours.
The power ministers now ordered the Transmission Company of Nigeria and all other relevant agencies of the ministry to begin the immediate implementation of the recommendations of the committee. Nigerians will be hoping to see if this intervention could at least arrest the constant electricity cut as the country heads into the festive season.
Well, moving on now, For Nigeria's economy to recover, the federal government must introduce deliberate policies that will protect local industries and improve the well-being of citizens. Now, this was a submission of the chairman and editor-in-chief of This Day and Arise Media Group, Prince Nduka Obiagbena. He spoke at the All Nigeria Editors Conference in Yenagoa in Bayelsa State, which was also attended by dignitaries including Governor Duodiri. Now, Arise correspondent Theophilus Agidi has more.
Gathered at the Chief DSP Alami Seya Memorial Banquet Hall in Yenagoa for the All Nigeria Editors Conference are top media executives from across the country, as well as dignitaries including Chief Host Governor Duodiri. The theme of the 3-day summit, Economic Growth and Development Strategies in a Resource-Rich Country, is an attempt to brainstorm on issues bedeviling the nation's economy and suggest solutions.
We implore you, as influential as your voices will be, to advocate for policies that prioritize sustainable development and empower local communities. The discussions are not just abstract concepts. They are directly affecting the life of the people, particularly those suffering from resources exploitation, environmental degradation, and unequal economic access.
Our first statement of readiness is to put our house in order to ensure that we also protect our industries. Are we going to protect one of the game changers in our economy, the Dangote refinery, from cheap imports? If Dangote fails, the refinery fails, then we all fail. We want to stop monopoly. Then the other 4 refineries of NNPC must come alive.
While oil remains a significant source of revenue for Nigeria, we are investing heavily in other sectors to diversify our economy. The launch of the presidential initiative on the CNG, the compressed natural gas, is a deliberate strategy to harness our abundant gas resources and also to foster a clean and healthy environment for our citizens.
Challenges facing the media industry was also on the front burner, with calls on the federal government to intervene.
Advertisement doesn't come like it used to be, because businesses are all going through hell. Government should appreciate the media and go out of its way to support the media.
The growth of our nation's economy directly influences every sector, and our industry is no exception. Today's economic landscape demands that we be agile and innovative. Many media houses are devising different ways to survive. However, as we exploit these strategies, we must keep sight of our mission to provide accurate, trustworthy, and independent information to our audiences. Sustainability is about more than economic survival.
Some notable participants at the event were former Governor of Ogun State, Segun Oshoba, Deputy Governor Lawrence Eridagbo, and Special Advisor to President Tinubu on Strategic Communications, Bayo Onanuga, amongst others. Theophilus Akidi, Arise News.
Well, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, regretted to announce the passing of Lieutenant General Tarid Abiodun Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, at age 56. General Lagbaja passed away last Tuesday in Lagos after a period of illness. Born on February 28, 1968, he was appointed Chief of Army Staff on the 13th of June, 2023, by President Tinubu. His distinguished military career began when he enrolled in the Nigerian Defense Academy in 1987. On September 19, 1992, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Nigerian Infantry Corps as a member of the 39th Regular Course. Throughout his service, Lieutenant General Lagbaja demonstrated exceptional leadership and commitment, serving as a platoon commander in the 93 Battalion and the 72 Special Forces Battalion. He played pivotal roles in numerous internal security operations, including Operation Zaki in Benue State, Lafia Dole in Borno, Udoka in southeast Nigeria, and Operation Forest Sanity across Kaduna and Niger states. President Tinubu expressed his heartfelt condolences to the family and the Nigerian Armed Forces during this difficult time. He wished Lieutenant General Lagbaja eternal peace and honored his significant contributions to the nation. Well, now in Equatorial Guinea, where the Director General of the National Finance Investigation Agency, Baltasar Ngonga, has been arrested following the discovery of over 400 sex tapes involving high-profile women, including ministers' wives and relatives of top officials. The scandal came to light during a fraud investigation when authorities uncovered CDs of Ngonga's encounters, reportedly consensual, in his office. The Attorney General, Nzang Nguema, clarified that consensual acts are not criminal unless coercion is involved, but noted a health risk linked to the scandal. In response, Equatorial Guinea's government announced a suspension of officials implicated in such activities within ministry offices, reinforcing a zero-tolerance policy on unethical conduct. Now, our next story, one of the main stories going around the globe this week, is the Republican Party's candidate and former American President Donald Trump early on Wednesday won re-election to become the 47th President of the United States. Trump recorded more than enough electoral votes, far more than the required 270, to defeat Vice President Kamala Harris of the Democratic Party, who secured 226. As a result, stacked in his favor, Trump declared victory before a teeming crowd of his supporters in his residence in Mar-a-Lago, Florida, vowing that he would not rest until he has delivered a strong and safe and prosperous America. Now, the former president declared that the nation had given him an unprecedented and powerful mandate, acting that he was going to make people very happy and very proud of their votes. By this feat, Trump has become the first former president to return to power since Grover Cleveland regained the White House in the 1892 election. He also stands as the first person convicted of felonies to be elected president of America, and at 78, the oldest president to be elected to the office.
So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And to every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Very proud of that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And, winning the popular vote was very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and we're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's great.
Well, the World Health Organization Director General, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, has warned about the rising threat of ransomware and cyber attacks on hospitals at the United Nations Security Council meeting on Friday. Eduardo Conrad, the president of Ascension, a United States healthcare provider, also spoke to the UN Security Council on Friday. Anne Neuberger, the White House's Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emerging Technology, was also present at the UNSC meeting. She warned against the risks of more cyber attacks on hospitals. Now, more data confirms that mortality rates at hospitals increase when they are disrupted by cyber attacks.
Let's be clear at the outset that ransomware and other cyber attacks on hospitals and other health facilities are not just issues of security and confidentiality. They can be issues of life and death. Surveys have shown that attacks on the healthcare sector have increased in both scale and frequency. And this is because of the success the hackers got in attacking hospitals or health facilities. In a global survey in 2021, over a third of respondents reported at least one ransomware attack in the preceding year, and 1/3 of those reported paying a ransom. However, even when ransoms were paid, 31% of respondents did not regain access to their encrypted data. It's humans who perpetrate ransom attacks, and it's humans who can stop them. Training staff to identify and respond to cyber attacks and rehearsing incident response plans is critical. Humans are both the weakest and strongest links in cybersecurity. This is not something that any nation can do alone. Just as viruses don't respect borders, nor do cyber attacks.
Due to the malicious attack, our care teams and our patients went from utilizing all the incredible technology they use every day to working off of paper, faxes, and hand delivery. In short, our modern care system was sent back in time. The financial impact from May 2024 ransomware was tremendous for Ascension. Ascension has spent approximately $130 million in the response to the attack, and we lost $900 million in operating revenue at the end of our fiscal year.
The U.S. government is aware of over 1,500 ransomware-related incidents in 2023 alone, generating over $1.1 billion in ransom payments. This is a significant increase from 2022, when we saw a little more than half that much in ransomware payments. Indeed, the 2023 figure is a 10 times increase since 2018 and a 100 times increase since 2014. Health experts have estimated that ransomware attacks were responsible for the deaths of dozens of patients in the United States. Medicare systems between 2016 and 2021. More recent data confirms that mortality rates at hospitals increased when a hospital has been disrupted by cyber attacks.
We are taking action using all instruments at our disposal against those who deliberately disrupt critical services. We also strongly call upon all states, in line with the UN Framework for Responsible State Behavior, not to allow in their territory to be used for such malign activities and to respond to appropriate requests to mitigate such activities.
Well, we're going on a short break now, and when we come back, I'll be sure to give you more of the top stories that are making headlines across the globe this week. South Carolina firefighters have made progress against a wildfire that has destroyed 132 structures, mostly homes, and that was fanned by fierce wind gusts that have been easing, allowing some people to return to some sort of normalcy, though the charred remains of their homes. Firefighters were putting out hot spots and helping residents sort through debris in Camarillo. The mountain fire started Wednesday morning in Ventura County and had grown to 32 square miles. It was 7% contained by Friday morning. At least 88 additional structures have been damaged.
So right now we're focusing on the recovery effort. Obviously the fire has blown through this area. And while it might seem that the act of firefighting is over, we move into a whole nother process, and that is to help the residents who have lost their homes recover. And if that means we're shoulder to shoulder sifting through ashes, then that's what that means. Our residents are part of our family. These are the people that we protect day in and day out when we come to work. And that doesn't stop after major wildfires. So we're there for them.
We looked out the windows and saw a lot of smoke in the canyon, and cars going down the road with horns of blaring saying, get out of here, get out of here. And we grabbed the cat and my wife said, we got to get out of here now. And so that's what we left with, the clothes on our back. And the things that we knew were there, like there was a motorcycle in the garage, no sign of it anywhere. You know, just so many things like that just gone, you know. We own the property, and, you know, it's a spectacular site, and yeah, we definitely want to do something here. We're just not sure if we'll rebuild what we had or do something totally different or what. So.
Well, an investigative panel has cleared the Nigerian military of deliberately attacking women and children or carrying out secret abortions in its fight against insurgency in the northeast. The National Human Rights Commission has been investigating Reuters reports against the Nigerian Armed Force since 2022. Arise correspondent Eshomoho Imodu has more.
The Reuters Nightmare in Nigeria report alleged atrocities committed by the Nigerian Armed Forces between 2013 and November 2021, necessitating the call for an investigation. But after a thorough investigation, the panel found that the claims were baseless.
It is to the credit of the panel members, the Secretariat, the National Human Rights Commission, and supporting partners today I can proudly assert that an extensive and thorough investigation based on justice and fairness has been achieved. The report we are presenting today has been a result of extensive work of the panel and its secretariat, encompassing 199 testimonies and a visit to 20 field locations.
While the panel accused Reuters of failing to appear before it to corroborate the allegations, the International Red Cross was indicted of operating medical facilities in the Northeast. The panel submitted that allegations of massacre of women and children were faulty and based on reconstruction of facts by Reuters.
The panel frowned at international organizations operating in Nigeria that refuse to obey constituted authorities, that also refuse to find themselves or make themselves available for international and national human rights mechanisms, as exemplified by the panel here today. And we have already mentioned the attitude of that ICRC and that Reuters and also Médecins Sans Frontières should hold themselves out in the same manner and in the same latitude that they want to hold others accountable.
With a turn of the table seemingly in the favor of the military, what could become the next action?
For the people who made the allegations not to come right from the beginning, cast a doubt as to whether they are sure of the allegations they made. That's one. And we have found out that substantially the allegations were not correct. Those against whom the allegations were made can now, they have the recourse of the law to them. I mean, if I made wrong allegations against you and it has been investigated and found not to be true, the process is open to you to take any other measure you want to do to access your remedy.
Investigating human rights violations provides the necessary ingredients to bring institutions and governments into conformity with international best practice. However, some question the impartiality of the panel, but for fear of intimidation, declined to speak on camera. Hopefully, the report will instill the much-needed confidence in the military. Eshomoho Imodu, Arise News.
Well, the Defense Headquarters has confirmed the emergence of a new terrorist group in the northwestern Sokoto state. Although the military has described the Lakurawas group as new, residents of the affected community say it has been around for 6 years. Arise correspondent Suleiman Nasiru has more.
In November 2018, residents of communities in Tangaza and Godu local government areas of Sokoto State raised the alarm over the presence of strange terror groups in their communities. Residents of the two local government areas had alleged that the terror group, who they said came from Mali, were flogging residents, placing levies and taxes, as well as going preaching to the members of the communities. But the then caretaker chairman of Tangaza Local Council, Maidan Mayari, dismissed the allegation while admitting that some persons arrived at local council from Nigeria Republic and have helped in pushing back bandits operating in the area. Sokoto State Deputy Governor Idris Mohammed Gobir has expressed concern over the re-emergence of the strange terror group operating in 5 local government areas of the state. He said the terror group are in possession of sophisticated weapons and their presence has escalated the security situation in the state.
Unwholesome activities of bandits affecting some local government areas of the state. And in the midst of that, we are now facing another threat from Lakrawas, whose criminal activities were observed in about 5 local government areas of the state. The group is known to be a faith-based idealist. An assessment carried out indicates that they possess sophisticated weapons, as the threat seems to be expanding. The security authorities are working assiduously to address the emergent threat.
Terror group is reportedly affiliated with jihad factions in Mali and Niger, raising security concern in the northwestern region of the country. The emergence of the group is linked to political instability in Mali and Niger, which has fueled the spread of extremist elements into Nigeria.
My men, members of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, to put in our best within the context of our mandate to see that we synergize with other security agencies to combat the security menace. This incident that the Deputy Governor has raised, we have already picked it up from our intelligence report, and we're already doing something about it. We are deploying personnel, both undercover as well as uniform personnel, and we're also synergizing with other sister agencies to make sure that we arrest this ugly situation before it turns into something else.
The security situation in the northwest is becoming more complicated. The fear of residents is a possible collaboration between the bandits operating in the region with this faith-based terrorist group. Suleiman Nasser, Arise News.
Well, that's all we can take on the week that was.